I'm Jeff Gordon, and you're watching Racing America.
Well, everybody, welcome into your favorite weekly show. This is indeed the Revved Up Sports Show from Texas. Showtime, Bobby Chaffee right here. The Iceman, Rodney Rodriguez. That is the man on your left side of your screen. And we're back again on another Hump Day edition of everybody's favorite show. Mr. Iceman with the old school Def Leppard rocking the hairline today. What's going on, dude?
There we go. Yes, sir. Gift from the wife from a concert. It's like, yeah, there you go. So I'll sport it. So it kind of matches the apparel. Dude, I'm loving the cool. You know, it feels colder than it is around here. I don't think it's really that cold, but it's just extremely windy in these parts. So it's like I heard a guy out here cutting grass earlier. I'm like, dude, they said not to do that today. And then not to mention, I walk outside. He has no leaves, and I have a bunch when I had none. How's that work?
It's funny how it works. Yeah. Whatever blew in with this cold front then got me all stopped up and clogged up. So I will do my best to make it through the show without sounding like an old, chain smoker, like the sisters on the Simpsons kind of thing.
Lots to break down tonight. I'm sure. Well, first of all, here, just about 5 minutes or so, we're going to talk to our man Joe Spillman, who's doing something really cool this weekend over at the Fall Classic at Heart of Texas Speedway. And while we have Joe, we can really get a nice dive into the late Jerry Fradrick, who passed away there, owner of Heart of Texas Speedway. The relationship there, I know the story, so it'll be real neat to hear Joe talk a little bit about that. And then coming up later on, bottom of the hour, it's going to be Talon Turner actually in instead of Kenny Brown. Talon is a race director with Power Eye, and of course they've got a massive show coming up this weekend at TMS at the dirt track. So we'll have that discussion as well. Kind of get a little preview of that. But and then the NASCAR financials are out, buddy.
Yeah, did you see that?
Oh man, it was as if this thing wasn't already deep enough and had twists and turns. Now you got that.
It even happened before December 1st, the deadline that Denny Hamlin talked about when he said all would be revealed by December 1st. Hell, it not even November 1st, and they dropped the financials from the charter.
I had really thought here lately that a lot of the just the perceived notion of everything had really stepped up. That NASCAR, I mean, for a lot of reasons, NASCAR didn't want this to go to court. I mean, obviously you want to try to get this resolved in a timely manner and so forth. But with what I've started to read today, I can see why they don't want this to go to court. Jeez, we can break into those numbers a little bit. That's trickling in. That's continuing to happen as we go right now.
Yeah, everybody's getting a chance to read the whole thing. So, yeah, I'm telling you, those are some big numbers, and it surprised me in a certain extent. I mean, we'll get into it more later, but it just surprised me how much they talk about the issues with the teams being charters and stuff like that. But it made a huge difference.
Yeah,
if you were a chartered team versus a non-chartered team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be weird.
And it's kind
of Dodge gonna go. Dodge will come in with more than two teams.
And it all kind of hitting that notion of you don't make any money in racing. Well, shit, I guess you don't. No way. So, and I don't know. We can kind of go through some of that. And again, a lot of that I don't understand. I mean, a lot of those things right there. That's a thing where I saw somebody said on X earlier to where it's like, how race fans get, you become an expert at everything when you know nothing about it 10 minutes prior. And I'm sure that's what we're going to get with when it comes to operating costs and tax breaks and all the different things that are coming out right here. But these are some huge numbers. So I would say NASCAR's faring pretty well, it seems like at this point.
I would say they had enough money to pay for the street race in Chicago, to build the LA Coliseum, to work out this deal in San Diego. I think they're financially sound enough to do it.
Yeah.
I think the thing that surprises me the most is that it is not Grandpa's NASCAR. And all the people that wanted to go back to being Grandpa's NASCAR because that was the best days ever, raise hell, praise Dale. Not with them big ass numbers. It ain't gonna go like that again.
Yeah, and that's where we have talked about it so many different times, to where it's like, look, when folks want to go down that road, I mean, look at your local track. I mean, look at a regional thing. Yeah, a local track still looks like it used to look, but the inner workings of it, like we were talking about with, I mean, just look at haulers, for example. Like we were talking the other day, when you've got a bomber and you come rolling up with an 18-wheeler. It is very different. And the open trailer thing that we mentioned, I mean, it's just the sport is driven by money. And the thing about it is, it's just so much money goes into it, but it's always the folks saying that there's a lack of money. And it's like the one thing that I've realized, going to different car events, and not necessarily races, is that when you go into these things, when it comes to free stuff and when it comes to discounts and all that, it's the people with all the money that are like clamoring for that shit. So
yeah, that's how they got their money in the first place. They didn't spend it.
Yeah, exactly. So
I know lots of people, they're loaded like hell, and they are stingy as shit.
Yeah, I mean, I know people where you would see them on the street, and you would, I mean, maybe not quite, would you say they don't have a pot to piss in, but that pot don't look pretty deep when you see them, and it's because they're reasonable spenders, and they don't make stupid financial decisions, or at times even sensible financial decisions.
Yeah,
So,
they're not like us and buy shit we don't need with money we don't have.
right, exactly. So
audio equipment, toys, race car parts.
Look, luckily, I've gotten to the point where this place is pretty packed. Every now and then, it's just a little cable. I've pretty much got 5 or 6 remote kits. So I've kind of leveled out there. How many remotes do I do? Like 1, but I got about 6 or 7 kits. But just in case, one of these days I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna, like Fred Sanford, I'm gonna sell this empire one of these days. Empire of junk.
Yeah, you'll never get out of it.
Yeah, this stuff is just too easy to do. This is too easy to do. But also later on, we can talk about we've got some in the Central Texas area, which is where the show is coming at you live. We've got some events coming up around here this weekend, and it looks like that some good ones that ought to be coming up here this weekend as well.
Yeah, lots of them were supposed to be last weekend, but the weather got kind of crazy, so they didn't happen. They decided to be proactive and move the races to this Halloween weekend, which has got to be rough. Those Friday night shows should be empty because the kiddos ain't going to want to go to the racetrack. The kiddos are going to want to go and get candy.
I know a lot of them do like the what do they call it, the trunk or treating and all that now. But I mean, no offense, but if I'm a kid that really enjoys trick or treating, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to go to the racetrack. I mean, I don't want to go walk around in the mud. I mean, forget that shit. I mean, I want to go do something cool. I want to go do something nice. Christine Molise checking in. Happy. So I guess we're a day late. No, 2 days late. 2 days later, as we're today on Wednesday, is hitting a. Well, she put it out there, so I'll say it. Turned a big 50. Welcome to the club. See, it's all uphill from here. All uphill once you hit the big 50. And looky there. There's Caitlin Leonard, and she's requesting your presence, buddy. What's this all about? Hey. Just kidding.
I guess as long as they'll have me, I'll still come back, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's get after the program right here. And when we talk about Halloween, it's one of our favorite characters. And I say character in a flattering way, because this is all around good man right here. This is one of the best people that you're going to find. It is our friend, the great Joe Spillman. Mr. Joe, how we doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Can you hear me?
Loud, just like you're next to me, buddy.
Huh. Okay. I have no clue what's going on right now, but I'm trying to figure it out. So I apologize.
You are totally good. You are.
How
totally
that makes 3 of us, Joe. You have no clue what the hell's going on. That makes 3 of us, dude.
I have no idea what's going on. So I don't know if you can see me. Hopefully you can hear me, right?
Yeah, all good. So everything is good. Everything is good. Just hold what you got. Okay. Joe, how's the weather out your way, dude? Feel
a little chilly this morning.
A little brisk, right? Finally.
Little brisk this morning. We went out at 5 a.m. and it's a little brisk, but it's good. We're enjoying it, so it's nice. So
absolutely,
good to see y'all guys and everything going on.
Yep.
Hey, Joe, real quick before we get started, I don't know if you got to hear us talk about running races on a night like Halloween with your promoter hat on. Would that been something that you would have done, or would you have just? I mean, it seems like you're working against a brick wall with kids and parents trying to get people to a racetrack on Halloween night.
You know, the guys are going to go race, and the kids are going to go race. They're going to go race, and they don't care. Honestly, they don't care if it's Halloween or Christmas or Thanksgiving. They're going to go race. So I wouldn't think that Halloween night, and that's not going to interrupt their trick or treating. You know, they'll figure that stuff out, and they're going to go do what they want to do, regardless. And it's like, you know what? If we're going to pay, I don't know, 500 to win for modifieds or 5,000 to win for modifieds, those same modifieds are going to show up no matter what. And if that's what they want to do and they want to go race, they're going to go race. I don't care if it's Halloween or Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's 500 to win, 5,000 to win. They're going to go race if that's what their family want to go do. So, you know, I've had people go, well, it's Halloween. You know what? It's also deer season.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go hunt deer on Saturday morning. And it's Thanksgiving, Halloween on Friday night. And the people that want to go hunt deer are going to go hunt deer. If they want to go, if their important thing is Halloween, they're going to do Halloween. So that doesn't, yeah, it's probably important to like 2%. But other than that, no.
And you know, Joe, you mentioned deer hunting season. I think people just don't understand, because I for the longest time, TMS was running a NASCAR race this time of year, and that's when attendance really started falling, and they cited that it was because that opening a deer season, and people from other states were like, no, that's bullshit. They don't understand, do they? That will really put a financial hit on a front gate.
Well, I don't know about a financial hit, but for families like us, you know, that deer season's almost a national holiday. We pull kids out of school, they take off early, and we go hunting. That's what we do. And you know, you got to know your, you know, you got to know your area where you're at. And some people are going to do that, and some won't. You know, but that's what we do now, or we always have here.
Mm-hmm.
So, Joe, let's go ahead and break into what we were going to talk about in the beginning. We got off track, which is not a surprise when you come on, because you bring out the best in both of us, and sometimes the worst, but usually the best. Talk about the Fall Classic and what you're doing with the Junior Unlimited. That is a class that is near and dear to your heart, because when it comes to giving out your hard-earned money, you love giving it out to those kids and helping them kids out, that next generation.
I do. You know, the Fall Classic, Heart of Texas, and I'll be honest, you know, probably in 20 years, I've only gone to the Fall Classic 1 or 2 times. You know why? Because it's always right there with deer season, and I'm going to go deer hunting with my family. But I will always help the Junior Limited stuff. And now that Jerry has passed on, and I want to help those kids. And so I said, you know what? Let's just buy all their pit passes. If there's 20 of them, I mean, shit, that's what, $700. You know, I'll spend that. We'll spend that, you know, in a weekend buying drinks for somebody. So let's do that for the kids and help them out.
Yeah. And Joe, with that class there, I know we've had this discussion here, but that track really has done just a superb job with I know there are other, you know, tracks that have that class, but I mean, that group, and then like the core of drivers that have come out of Waco of that class, man, it's that yourself, you know, with teaching them things, kind of speak to that, man. That's quite the class that's been built up there at Heart of Texas.
So I would say, you know, look at Trevor Cockburn. You know, that kid started out on that, and now he's a national contender in the sport mods.
Yep.
And he's really, really good,
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, and I've told everybody this before, is like I created this kind of class, like education thing, because of Jason Batt and Daphne, and I related it to baseball. I could teach Zach, my son, baseball all day long, and but like choke up on a bat, shorten your swing, and he wouldn't do it. And then the other coach that had no affiliation could do that and say, "Hey, choke up," and all of a sudden, you know what? It's a base hit to the infield. And so I took that and said, you know what? It's kind of the same thing. I can, mom and dad can tell them all day long, Jason Batt and he can tell Daphne all day long, hey, break a little early on entry and get nothing. But then all of a sudden somebody from in left field goes, hey, why don't you break a little early on entry? And all of a sudden it works. And that's why we came up with this whole thing.
Yep.
And I think it works too, Joe. I mean, obviously Trevor came out of that class, but I really think that, hell, I think there's some adults and regular rookies that need to go through some type of rookie orientation other than just the junior limiteds. But I'm like you, you can, when your parents put something in your head all day long, and then somebody else comes out, it's kind of like when your wife, you could come up with a really good idea for your wife, and if somebody else mentions it, that's when it's the good idea. So I think that the ability to have that extra set of ears that you can lean on and stuff like that works. What do you think about making that like a mandatory rookie class, like an orientation for anybody that's getting in, regardless of class, not just junior limiteds?
Well, we did that, and a couple of years ago when we were doing the junior limited / rookie class, we had people coming in first time in stock cars, first time in modifieds even. And, just go out there with no pressure. And we talked in their ear, be like, hey, lift here, or hey, get in the gas here, or brake here. You know what? It's just like really black slick there. Get up on the top side, and talk in their ear. It worked really well, So it doesn't have to just be the kids. We've brought a lot of rookies in and get them comfortable, and getting them ready to race and not feeling, scared, if for lack of a better word, of what they're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah, much needed. Yeah, and that's one of those things that it definitely does help. Joe, I do want to ask you. I know that your relationship with Jerry. You mentioned there that we lost Jerry, and of course the Fall Classic in his honor coming up this weekend there at Heart of Texas Speedway. But your relationship with him and just kind of the beginnings of it. I mean, you've told me the story, but kind of talk about that. I remember when you and I went to Heart of Texas to work together, you brought me along on that journey, and I went to introduce myself to Jerry, and I wanted to tell him what I'd done. And he's like, Joe said you can do it. I don't care about any of that. So it's like the faith he had in you. Kind of talk about your relationship with Jerry Friedrich.
So we'll back up. We'll back up into the early 2000s. Quite frankly, I gambled a lot. Probably had a gambling addiction. Played a lot of poker, and I played poker with this guy named Big Hands Jerry. And if you knew Jerry, he had like monster hands, but that's how we knew him, as Big Hands Jerry. And he reached out to me in 2006, 2007, said, I want to like dig this, slew out, this thing on Lake Travis. And by then I'd kind of stopped gambling and started racing. And Jerry says, hey, I hadn't seen you, because I mean, honestly, we would gamble and we'd play poker every day, 5-7 days a week from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. And he says, hey, I hadn't seen you around. What are you doing now for your fun? And at that point, I had bought a sport mod and from Ed Thompson, and I was racing the sport mod from Ed Thompson. And I said, "Well, I'm racing now." And he goes, "What do you do? What do you mean?" And so he came to Killeen, Texas Thunder, and watched the races. And at the time, it was kind of towards the end of the year. There was a demo derby, and he and John built a demo car, and it showed up. And he called me the next week. He goes, "I want to buy a car." I'm like, "You want to buy a street stock, a stock car?" He's like, "No, I want the biggest, baddest, fastest car there is." I was like, "Well, that's modifieds." He's like, "That's what I'm going to buy." I was like, "Well, you know what? My buddy, Big Mike, is selling his car. You should talk to Mike." A week later, he shows up. We're racing at the end of the year at Killeen, and Mike, he wins the race, and I finished second. And from there, we're leaving for Boone. I mean, it's like we finish, we load up, and we're headed to Boone. He goes, "I want to buy that car." And so Mike sells him his car, his trailer, his extra motors, his helmet, his fire suit.
Yeah.
Like, "Here's a check. I want everything when you get back." And we're like, "Look, bro, we're going to Boone. You might get nothing." He's like, "Well, whatever you have when you get back, that's what I want." And that's what we did. We went to Boone and raced, and we came back, and then Mike sold everything to Jerry, and that's how Jerry got involved with racing. People don't know, but I'm the one that introduced Jerry to racing, and then he bought Mike's car, bought his trailer, bought his fire suit, everything else. And then after that, he ended up buying Heart of Texas from Adam Check. And that's where we are today. So,
Wow, it's crazy.
I was going to ask,
Yeah.
did you know how that deal went down from Adam Check? Because I mean, they had that place forever. I mean, that
Yeah.
was their pride and joy. How did he end up making a deal to buy that place?
Well, it was up for sale, and they were going to sell it. Gene was kind of tired of, and Gene and I was, we were good friends. And Gene was ready to sell and get out. And then, quite frankly, Jerry came along with enough money and enough cash. It wasn't hard. It wasn't difficult. "Here's your check for X amount of money, and walk away." And that's kind of what happened, So, and Gene and all the family they're all great people, and they always will be. So,
yeah. And I think the thing about it, Joe, what was always so impressive there with Jerry with Heart of Texas, and I mean, you just look at the place. I mean, you look at it from the highway, it looks great, and then you get in there.
Yep.
He was always adding to that place. I mean, just constantly putting money in. Joe, I remember when we went over there the first night that you and I announced, and the sound system sucked.
Oh, it's terrible.
Bobby,
it was
Bobby
absolutely terrible.
He and I show up the next Friday. Everything has changed. Everything is new.
Yep.
Microphones, wires, mixers,
Yep.
everything is replaced.
Yep. The first night you and I went there, and it was a train wreck, to say the least. The national anthem cut out, and you and I almost started singing. Just it was a train wreck. But that didn't happen again, because Jerry is going to make sure that didn't happen again. So,
yeah, it's crazy.
But then it's like the catwalk, and Jerry's like, "Well, Boone has a catwalk. That's kind of cool. Let's build a catwalk." And it's always been a progressive, like, let's get it better and better and better.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, and I know you won't be there, as you mentioned, but your impact there with what you're doing with the junior limiteds, again, Joe, covering pit passes for the junior limiteds. Your sense of what fans should expect. I think it's going to be a very exciting, yet at the same time a little subdued emotion vibe there. And I know that they did the remembrance this past week out there during the rain out. But I think it's going to kind of mixed emotions, don't you think? What folks are going to feel this week at Heart of Texas?
I think that with anything we do nowadays, everybody's so emotional in the point, in the fact. So I don't think it's going to be subdued. I think it's going to be let's go race. I hate to say it, but I'm going to be honest. There's not going to be a lot of remembrance of Jerry at this point. It's going to be like, let's go race. Let's let the modifieds just open the motors up and let them rip. Stock cars are going to do the same thing. Junior limiteds, they're just going to go and race and have a great time. It's going to be awesome. So.
Yep.
Hey, Joe, how important was it to add the big mods to that show? Because obviously they, Stims has kind of taken off for down in South Texas, and they added in Waco this year. But in terms of like kind of the big mods, Waco was always the staple for that track, and then they kind of died off, and then they tried to pay big purses, and nobody showed up, and now they're paying a big purse, and it sounds like there's going to be a pretty damn good crowd of big mods there this weekend.
Well, and I think when you say big mods, you got to know that there's two different big mods, right? I mean, there's IMCA mods, and then there's open mods, outlaw mods, Toms, what are you going to call them? USRA, whatever you want to call them. So, they didn't run open mods, last week, or they weren't going to because the Toms Nationals. They didn't want to step on their toes. Toms have been really, really a good series, and I work for Toms, right? So, up front, I work for them, but they couldn't run open mods against the Toms Nationals last week, and that's why they said, okay, let's run IMCA mods. And then now that last week got canceled, and also last week Tom's Nationals got canceled. Mm-hmm. Now it's like there's nobody else racing any mods, and I think they did a good job, modifying the rules a little bit, and some of them get a spoiler, a wing, if you will, or whatever, and some don't, but they're all still on the same freaking tire, and I think they did a good job of kind of tweaking that. You know what? You want to bring your open mod, and you got a 500 horsepower, 434 with an aluminum head and roller cam, and no spoiler, or you want to bring your IMCA mod, and you're going to put a little wing on the back. Guess what? You're still on the same freaking G60. Mm-hmm. So I think they did a good job of trying to accommodate. I mean, there's always going to be the people in the back section, that are going to chirp that this isn't fair, that's not fair, but those people are going to bitch about whatever they want to bitch about anyways, so.
Yeah. It does seem like to me, Joe, last one for me, and thanks for taking the time this evening, man. It seems like kind of with the limited modified and the sport mod and B mods and C mods and E mods and all the different whatevers that have come around, kind of seems like the modifieds have kind of the growth has come back, right? It's like, forget all the bullshit. Let's just run a big mod, right?
I mean, what are you going to say? I mean, same thing about stock cars. You got the I stocks, IMCA stock cars, and you got the USAR state, stock cars. You got factory stocks, and you got the. I mean, you can do that with any class you want to do. Street stocks, you can do that with any of them, and it's very easy. I promise you, it's very easy to look from the outside in and go, well, they need to just make one stock car class and one modified class, and whoever shows up. Trust me, bro. I've done that. And guess what? There's going to be people that are like, well, I only have a street stock that doesn't meet this rule, so I'm not going to show up. And then I only have factory stock, and I'm only going to show up. And you can always do that all day long. At some point, you've got to get halfway in between and try to get all the people you can. Do we need 8 modified classes and 8 stock car classes? No, not at all. We don't need hobby stocks and factory stocks and ice stocks and street stocks and, hobby stocks and all that stuff. But at some point, you still got to get the people that want to race some place to race. And I'll be the guy that argues that fact because I've been there. And that's what happens. That's why there's all these different classes, because there's some asshole that won't race unless it fits their rules. So,
It's always that way. Well, Joe, good luck with the big game hunting this weekend. You gonna fly? You gonna fly up there? You driving up there? I don't see you post that much about your plane anymore. You still flying?
I still fly a lot. I used to fly to Waco all the time, just because I could fly up there, I could announce, and then fly back home. But now that I'm not announcing at Waco, I don't fly as much as I used to. But I do. I still fly. My grandbabies live in Houston, so I fly to them and fly down, see the girls, and then fly back home to Sugar Land and back. So yeah, I still fly a lot. I love the airplane, but I don't fly as much as I used to, and I don't post as much as I used to. So,
well, and I've seen you like in the gym, right? I saw you like working out and doing all this stuff. I'm like, oh, my man's taking care of himself. Look at that.
Well, I'm 50, and I was like, well, I want my grandbabies to see me. So yeah, I've been working out. I'll be there at 5:30 in the morning tomorrow morning and working out. So if we weren't on this call right now, I'd probably be there this afternoon. But I just called, so instead, I'm just going to drink a whiskey drink.
I was going to say, please tell me that whenever I run into you, that we're still going to have a couple of Mick Ultras. Please tell me. Okay.
No, there's not going to be a couple. We'll have like a dozen. So let's go.
Absolutely.
Don't cut yourself short. So
That's right.
But
good stuff.
No, you know what? I still love racing. I love racing a lot. I've just shifted my goals and my focus somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to like junior limiteds, I'm like, you know what? We could just put some money towards them and let them enjoy a little better weekend. And that's what we do nowadays. So
yep, absolutely. Good stuff. All right, Joe. Good luck this weekend, man. Thanks for what you do. We appreciate the words there about Jerry, and hope to see you down the road soon, my man.
We're always around, buddy. So just holler. If you ever want to like stir up a big hornet's nest and you're like, hey, what do you think about this? Just reach out, because I will stir the shit out of that. Just bring it to me.
Off season's coming, and that's the best time to do it. We'll have off season with Joe.
That's all right. All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
See you, Joe.
Yeah. There he goes. Joe Spillman, still doing good stuff for racing. Like you mentioned right there, maybe a little step back, but still just really one of the good guys, man. Joe is Joe. I mean, that's really all, when you think the name Joe, simple name, easy to remember. Joe's just a good dude. He really is
one of the good guys in racing. Some people don't like him because he rubs people the wrong way, but hell, that's the ones that we get along with, is the ones that rub the people the wrong way, because we like to stir up shit every now and then ourselves.
He's going to tell you what he thinks. I mean, that's the thing about it. That's the thing about it. Big one coming up at Texas Motor Speedway this weekend over at the Texas Motor Speedway dirt track. It's looking fine too, because I was over there this past weekend for Fuel Fest. So I kind of went and took a peek over there. We'll have a preview of that coming up in a mere minute. But first, a word from our friends at On Demand Shirts.
You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
On Demand Shirts, official apparel provider of the Revved Up Sports Show, of BC, of me, and of lots of you people out there. So, again, great stuff right there. And it doesn't just have to be racing, Bobby, like he says. I mean, when he says corporate companies and so forth, he is not kidding. Not kidding about that part.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not kidding about that. Incredible operation and a really nice guy. That's the best part about it. Not only is he a top-notch business owner, he's a top-notch dude. So
And a hell of a car racer too. That's the other part about it. It's a racer doing things for racers. And James Cole at the end of the year, man, coming on strong with I think maybe a couple of races that we'll see Mr. Cole out on the track this weekend. Texas Motor Speedway, weather conditions cooling down just a little bit. Forecast looks good. That's always something that you have to deal with in North Texas. Texas Motor Speedway dirt track will be opened up and rolling once again. And joining us on the hotline, presented by On Demand Shirts, series director for Power Eye, we welcome in Talon Turner. How we doing, Mr. Turner?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for the short notice there. Kenny called me. He's like, I can't do it, but I got your guy. I'm like, okay, whatever works for you, man.
Glad we were able to get you guys taken care of. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the build up heading into TMS again with you guys. Just it's show after show after show. Kind of talk about the season in a nutshell here as we head to Fort Worth.
Yeah, and we've had a really strong year with the 410s. Record car counts. We kind of took a step forward with the 410s this year. With our point fund and building a tow money program. $150,000 point fund that's all coming to a close this weekend at Texas Motor Speedway with our full time guys. Plus, we've had a lot of other big name guys kind of join on the tour when they're not running with High Limit and whatnot with the other series, and they're all headed south this coming weekend to Texas. So everybody's looking forward to running at the Texas Motor Speedway dirt track to wrap up the season.
Good stuff.
man, Talon, how rewarding does that feel when you get, when it's like everything comes together like it's supposed to a certain extent? Obviously, you're going to have certain things pop up. That's just the joy of racing. But in terms of, like you said, we got these guys coming, everybody's looking forward. That means most everybody's going to show up with a good positive attitude. From your position, I mean, that's got to feel good, at least make your drive into Fort Worth that much more enjoyable, right?
No, it's very rewarding, especially, just as beautiful as the facility is at Texas Motor Speedway. Again, to say that that's where we cap off our championship, and, with just the caliber of drivers we have with the sprint cars coming to join us for that weekend. I mean, just is, a testament to, kind of the growth we've had this year and how it's going to cap off at Texas Motor Speedway. And, also with the revival super late models, I talked to Tyler, their series director, earlier today, and they have 44 late models already pre-registered for the weekend. Plus, with the USRA American Racer Modified Series presented by Day Motorsports, they're going to have a very strong car count of modifieds as well. So between we're expecting 32 to 35 winged 410 sprint cars, drivers from all over the country, Ohio, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, and then, of course, Texas, Oklahoma will be there. So between, those three divisions all having, strong car counts with strong names, it's going to be a big end of the season.
And Talon, isn't it really a big draw? Like when things line up like that, when you mention High Limits and some of those series that are done, or you have these weekends open, and then you're at just a very attractive place. I mean, like TMS. I mean, obviously TMS is TMS, but I mean, there's lots of things to do in that general area. It's a place that's sought after to go to. When you talk about the stars aligning, I mean, it really does for you guys. And like I said, I mean, weather is always whatever, but everything looks really good for this weekend for you guys.
That's what we were all on a call earlier this week, and we were kind of like looking over things for the next week, and with Texas Motor Speedway, and really all the stars have kind of aligned for this next week. The weather looking nice. When we first built our schedule, and we said we were ending this second weekend in November down there at Texas, that's one of the few facilities we gamble on something like that with. You just never know with the weather. Texas Motor Speedway, they can handle rain, they can handle all the inclement weather, as long as it's not, of course, happening during the races. But with the temperature still looking like they're going to be in the mid to low 70s during the day, and nice days with the sun out, and just when all those stars align, to put on a big show and bring all this caliber of talent down there, and then with the weather aligning and just being at Texas Motor Speedway just feels like a big stage for everybody. So with all those aligning, I mean, it's on track to really be a great show.
Mm-hmm.
So, Talon, for those that run a nationwide type of program now, for those that aren't familiar with Power Eye, give us the Cliff Notes version of the series and some of the different divisions. Obviously, we know we're talking about the 410s and stuff going to TMS, but kind of give us the Cliff Notes version of Power Eye, where it's based, and some of that other information.
Yeah, no, we're a national sanctioning body, actually international. We have a micro series over in Australia, but our main focus is we kind of call it our Fab 5, Fab 4. We have our, the Power Eye Honest Dave Roofing 410 Outlaw Sprints, which is our winged 410 series. We have the Power Eye National Midget League, which is where PowerEye started back in 2005, running just midget races. And then they formed the micro series, and now we run. We don't really have a full micro series anymore, but we just run big, like 10,000 win micro shows. We do about 6 to 7 of those a year, combined with the PowerEye War Sprint League, our non-wing 410 series. We also own 2 racetracks on top of that, Lake Ozark Speedway and Macon Speedway, that keep us very busy as well. So between that, we have the PowerEye Stock Mod program, which is like your USRA or IMCA series. We sanction a lot of dirt tracks in Missouri with the stock cars and modifieds. And then we sanction a lot of other series across the country, help them with different resources and support. The Elite series down in Texas, the Elite Outlaw Sprints, we sanction their series. They're a Wing 410 group down there that we kind of support. And anytime we go down there and race, we kind of bring them in together. But PowerEye is based out of Belleville, Illinois. And, it started again as a midget series, and it's kind of evolved into now we have, a West midget series in Oklahoma. We have Ecotech midgets out in Colorado. It's kind of just expanded from there. And now we're doing, it seems like, any kind of form of racing, open wheel or fender wise, we're involved in something.
That's awesome. 410 wing sprint cars. That's one of those things to where it's like just when you say it, and Bobby and I talk about this a lot, to where it's like you go to a lot of tracks and it's like we're having sprint cars. You just say sprint car, and that brings a lot of attention. That brings a lot of excitement. But the race fan, you can tell the difference between the different sprint cars. But wing 410 sprint cars, just kind of describe that, because it's going to shake the ground. They're so fast. These guys have, no other way to say it, balls of steel. Kind of talk about that, man. Y'all roll into town, and I bet it just creates such a buzz when those cars come zipping in.
That's what it's promoters all the time, sprint cars is a term, we used to get fans in the stands, but when you add the word just, 410 in front of it, that just draws another level of excitement from anybody that's experienced a 410 race. Just the speed they carry on Texas Motor Speedway is crazy. It's the top of the line of sprint car racing, winged 410 sprint cars. That's the fastest and, most horsepower you're ever going to see. So that just kind of brings in another, level of excitement there. People that have been to experience the 410 race, like you said, the rumbling and feeling the ground shake, and single car qualifying with 410s. Some people like it, some people don't, but just, you got to appreciate a couple cars doing it, just seeing the speed and hearing just that one car out there, making as fast as lap as they can. And, with the super late models and modifieds as well, they're going to be able to put on a great show around TMS as well with the speed, top of the line of each division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super late models are fun at TMS at the dirt track. They'll go 3, 4, even 5 wide. It barely fits, but some of them will try to go that super duper high line. In terms of Texas Motor Speedway, obviously we're fans of it because we're close. Little closer than you guys will be, but it seemed like there for a while they weren't using the facility, and it just kind of turned into a cornfield. Now we've had multiple races there, kind of back to back kind of deal. And I think that it's cool to see the facility kind of back in order. What goes into trying to get to a place like Texas Motor Speedway? Is that just a simple phone call and here's a wad of cash, or you got to worry about insurance and sanctioning fees and all that stuff too? How hard is it to book a joint like TMS?
Well, TMS is, difficult. It's a place that very few can get into, and it all, our connection with TMS all stemmed back to originally PowerEye was involved when Christopher Bell wanted to put on a big micro race at the Little Dirt. They built that little dirt track across from the big track, and PowerEye was involved in that. And then they kept the micro race going the following year. Well, the big dirt track was just sitting over there, not being used. And, we were over there operating the little dirt track as a, putting on a big micro race once a year. And that kind of involved to us, well, what would it take to open up the gates to the big dirt track, right? It's just sitting there. That's when TMS kind of came to us and said, we would like to see the dirt track being operated again. So that's when we booked our first 410 race there. And then that led to, High Limit coming in as well. And then it's just kind of stemmed from, us and High Limit continuing to, keep the big dirt track operational. And we try to keep the little dirt track operational at least once a year as well, just to, kind of bring in some more dirt and open wheel racing into, the TMS grounds instead of those, beautiful facilities just sitting there.
Yeah. And it is. It's a great looking spot. Like I said, I just saw it. I just saw it Sunday morning. I went in to get my show trailer, and I went and took a look over there. With that, so when you guys come in, that's one of those things. So you guys come in, you have the event there like this with the other 2 series, but you guys, they open that thing up, and then it's y'all. You guys are track prep. You guys are all of that, right? They're essentially just providing the venue, and you guys are operating every aspect of it.
Yeah. No, we kind of come in, turnkey and put on the event, from start to finish. we used to do kind of the track prep ourselves, and then we developed a good relationship, and so did TMS with Martin Edwards and the Edwards family and the crew from RPM and that. So they handle, the track prep operations for us. That way we're not sending crews down there weeks ahead trying to get the track in order. Martin and all of them, they grew up around the dirt. They know how to work dirt. They're some of the best in the business. So they're, down there locally, helping get things, into shape for us and high limit. And then we are able to show up on race week and, kind of take things from there from the rest of the operational side. And, we were in charge of it all from, getting everything set up and going and running the races and packing up at the end of the night.
Yes, sir.
That makes it sound so easy.
Yeah, nothing to it.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nothing to it, right? Just show in, the
Right.
lights are flipped on for you. All you gotta do is sweep a little bit, when you're done. It makes it sound so easy, but
I wish it was as easy as it sounded some days.
yeah, no kidding. So recap the weekend for us. Who all you got back at TMS, schedule wise, and all that good stuff. We actually got the Dukes' Wild poster pulled up on the TV on the monitor for you too.
Yeah, no, we hot laps are starting at 6:30 both nights. 5:30 general mission gates open. Pit gates open at noon. We have the Wing 410 sprint cars with the Power Eye Honest Day Broofing 410 Outlaw sprints joined with the Elite Outlaw sprints, a co-sanction between those two series. The Revival super late models. They have 44 drivers pre-registered, so they're going to have a great field of cars and a strong talent field of cars. And then the American Racer modified series is going to have a strong lineup of modifieds. But we have our full-time guys coming from across the country, coming down to Texas, guys from Ohio like Sean Rahal and our point leader, Ayrton Geniton, a strong one right now in the Midwest, Joby Miller, Xavier Doney. We have a strong lineup of drivers. And of course, Austin McCall is going to come down from Iowa. Aaron Reitzel and Brenham Crouch, fresh off the High Limit Tour for the year, will be there. Sam Havertine Jr. off the ASCS Tour. We're going to come run 410s there with us, and then all the local Texas guys, will be there. Austin Mundy and the crew. And there's going to be a strong lineup of 410 drivers. I keep getting more phone calls every day from different 410 guys. Zach Dom's going to come, known midget racer, starting in some Wing 410 stuff. He's going to be down there running with us. Roger Crockett, Brandon Anderson from Oklahoma. The list just, keeps going on and on of 410 guys, excited, one last race of the year in at Texas Motor Speedway. So it's going to be a good show. And we have a ticket special going there. If you buy a two-day pass, you save $20. So, just trying to do some different things to, help the event be as big as it can.
Damn, Talon, I told myself I was going to stay home this weekend, but because I was just there. Yeah, man. I'm like, shit. might have to head back up there. That sounds like a great show, man. Look at race coverage. If you can't get there, is there a streamer? What streamer can we catch it on?
Yep, start to finish, we'll be streaming the show on s2ftv.com. You'll be able to get on there and $29.99 for the month, and you can catch both nights there, cheaper than a grandstand ticket for those that can't make it there. But of course, we hope to see everybody at Texas Motor Speedway. Yeah,
absolutely. Going to be a good one. Talon Turner, thanks for taking the time this afternoon, man. Good luck this weekend, and enjoy it. And man, we'll check in with you guys on down the road.
Yep. No, thank you both.
All right, man. Take care.
Yep.
You bet. There he goes. Talon Turner. Big one, man. Big one. That's like the perfect.
Yeah, next weekend. You're in luck. It's next weekend.
Oh, it's
the 7th. It's the 7th and 8th.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. 7th and 8th. What do I? Oh, no, shit. I'm not going to be far from there. But yeah, I thought it was this weekend. Okay, well, that's good. Man, that can you find a better tray of food than that lineup right there? Those three divisions, like what we were talking about with Joe right there, to where it's like one class of this, one class of that, dude, that right there. That's where you take a new race fan and say, watch this. I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know we're talking about Power Eye, but the late models would be worth the price of admission just on its own.
No, yeah.
Late models at that big ass half mile at Texas Motor Speedway dirt track. I mean, you talk about flat out B to W. That is, you hear them clanging on the outside of that wall as they drive around that place wide ass open.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I was there. Power Eye was there in April, and I went up there to do some stuff. And I mean, it got rained out. Unfortunately, we got into the show and the rain got us. But the single car qualifying, we did get through that, and that was edge of your seat shit, man. It's like, holy smoke, they're flying, and that You know, TMS, there's nothing on the cheap at that place. It is still a beautiful, pristine facility.
Oh,
I think the dirt track looks nicer than the big track, to be
yeah,
honest
the
with you.
it's underrated. If you're a dirt track fan and never been to the Texas Motor Speedway dirt track, you owe yourself a visit to there, because that's not sponsored, not promoted by us, but that track is just top notch, holds a boatload of people, and they're actually really nice grandstands too. Some sections have the back on them.
Yeah, aluminum backs, and that place is just so cool because it's got, you know, the massive infield, and you drive in and you go
out, you to exit the track, you go in the tunnel in 1 and 2, and it's got the paved pits. And
dude, that is, it really is. It's a great spot, and like you said, it's not something to. I've kind of got some specifics from Kenny in the past about what all it takes to get this done, and the lineup that he's talking about. You need to have that lineup, because this isn't something where you're just like, hey, I got an event. No, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get in there. So, yeah, looking forward to that. There it is again. We'll pull it up right there. November 7th and 8th. Deuces Wild over at Texas Motor Speedway. It's going to be 2 good nights, man. Sprint cars, late models, modifieds, all of that. Both
It'll be a lot of fun. That like I said, I'm looking forward to them super late models around that place.
Yeah.
Last time I was up there with the old school SUPR late models. Remember that dirt track series?
Yep.
Those dudes were flat ass flying around that place.
Yeah. It's a great spot. It's a great spot to watch them. Great comment here that I saw pop up, our man Owen Pittman, and this right here. So let's be honest, racing isn't what it once was, and we can kind of break this down, because when you get something from somebody like Owen, you break down everything he talks about, because it's a lot of good points into about 4 sentences right there. Not what it was. I mean, it's not, like we said, it's not the same. Whatever level, whether it's at the very top or in the entry level, whatever you want to call it, it is very different, and it is with Joe. I mean, Joe has done it all. I mean, you look at what Joe's done. I saw one of those, where people go out and find lost treasures or whatever it's called. I know what Dale Jr. calls it, but I saw they did 281 Speedway, and they went and found that. And the name that's in there is for Joe Spillman, because he went in there and ran that. It's not, and not that the racetracks are terrible. I mean, it is. You find other things to do. You find other things to do, and that's, to the NASCAR thing, why attendance is down, why viewership is down. People just don't want to do that stuff anymore, right?
Well, there's multiple reasons. There's a disconnect between car culture now, and the car culture that's there isn't remotely involved around, circle track racing, somewhat drag racing. A lot of it's just street racing and showing off, doing burnouts in the middle of the street, which obviously we don't condone and don't recommend, but that's the car culture nowadays. Right. And it's hard to get that transitioned over to, it's a little easier to get them conditioned over to, say, a drag strip than it is to get them to convert over to a local asphalt track or a local dirt track, for sure. So, I mean, and I think it's just a different appeal. That's why, Cletus McFarland should have his own study done about his ability to attract younger audience. Because every time they do something on Freedom Plus and do something at the Freedom Factory, it's loaded with that young demographic that every promoter and every series is looking for.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got that. That's because that's what it needs. Every racing demographic's kind of old. Formula One's actually brought it down some, but it's a worldwide audience for Formula One. Like, you have generational people watching Formula One. Oh, I watch Formula One because my grandpa did it, or my parents did it. Now you have people, especially here in the States, oh, I watch Formula One because of Drive to Survive.
Mm-hmm.
Different demographic is consuming Netflix. I'll be interesting to see what the demographic for Formula One does when it transitions over to Apple TV, to see how that changes, because they have their own unique demographic for Apple, both monetarily and age-wise. So that'll be interesting to see, but nothing is the same as it used to be.
Yeah.
From the local level, because you don't have the diehard guys. Like I said, where all of our racetracks were when we grew up, we knew that Longhorn was going to be in trouble in Austin, Texas, when Austin, Texas started getting shit to do.
Yeah.
Same thing with San Antonio Speedway. San Antonio started growing municipality-wise. Lots of businesses started coming to San Antonio. There's lots of things to do. A lot more movie theaters, a lot more clubs. There's a lot more stuff to do that made it a lot more fun. in Austin and San Antonio. So it became the racetrack didn't become the destination that it once was. And it's bad to say sometimes it's not the destination it needs to be now.
Yeah, and the one thing about it is where it that and it's not that kind of back to Owen's point here, not because of that it's being done wrong, because the thing about it is when people want to say that a promoter is doing something wrong, I mean, unless it's, and I put this more to a tech side. I put this more to on a financial side. If drivers aren't getting paid, I mean, we're seeing the mess that's going on right now with what do you call it? XR. I mean, yeah, that's when it's a promoter.
That's when the promoter's doing it wrong.
That's when it's being done wrong. But when you're doing something like this, where it's coming out of your pocket and you're doing it for the love of the sport and to the better for other people, it's really hard to say that somebody's doing something wrong. You're doing something within your means. And I think that that's where people really need to kind of shift that thought when they say, X promoter is doing it wrong. Well, you know what? X promoter is probably doing it, as long as it's not one of those situations, is doing it within what they're able to do. And like when we're talking about Jerry there, when I asked Joe about this dude's always, changing amps and doing all these different things. I'm serious, Bobby, that press box was totally revamped the week we went back, and we had no idea what was happening, but he's able to do that. He was able to do that.
Well, he owned the facility. It's a lot easier to invest in the facility that you own than it is to keep, putting out money in the place you're leasing. We see that a lot. The plight of that promoter having to determine, I don't know. I don't want to put the lift kit on the truck that I'm just leasing. I'd rather put the lift kit on the truck that I own.
Exactly. And that's why, if you want to, bitch about whatever racetrack, well, they don't have whatever. Well, you know what? I mean, think about what that monthly rent payment is, and then on top of that, and then now you get into this time of year. I mean, Mary Ann's talked about it on here time after time, to where it's like, okay, right now, like we said, they're having that truck show or doing whatever they're doing over there. I mean, that's going to hopefully make that rent payment that month, because otherwise, what's going on? I mean, drive by CBS now, or drive by any of these tracks that are done for the year. I guarantee you, there's some sort of light on there that stays on, and
the bills don't stop just because the cars ain't there.
Yeah, and you got to go out there, and I mean, you can't just not like desert the place for 6 months. So yeah, it is. I mean, the life changes. I mean, me, for example, it's like I've had folks reach out, and it's like, you're always traveling. I thought you weren't going to travel. That's why you're not announcing. It was like, no, I was not going to travel any longer to announce, because I wanted to be home. But then I got an opportunity that pays me money to go travel, to take care of my family, and to have health insurance, and to have all these different things. So yeah, it does. Life changes really, really fast. And that is a lot of it. That is a lot of what's happening.
Well, and we've seen it with our friends, like we, luckily with our buddy Jake Wright, the showstopper, he's come through, and luckily for him, Logan is into quarter midgets. So he's kind of kept that racing bug alive between the generational stuff between Bruce, Jake, and now Logan. Our other friends, like when I talked to Mason Teague about 6 weeks ago, we were talking about, I used to go to the racetrack all the time, third generation racer. Now he's got a fourth generation racer, but they're not running quarter midgets anymore. They're playing softball, baseball.
Yeah.
That's a different mindset. Priorities have changed. He's not worried about coming to the racetrack anymore because he's worried about going to softball games.
Yeah.
Not because that's wrong. It's just because that's the priorities and stuff change.
Yeah. And Owen follows it up right here, because it is one of those things, because I say about it here all the time, where it's like I get up when I'm traveling for work. I get up on Sunday. I mean, I've probably followed, or I've probably watched racing somewhere when I'm done, just to kind of stay. And I mean, I have to keep up with what's going on, because despite what people think, what we do here is kind of a job. I mean, we don't get paid for it, but I mean, it still is something that to do this show in the manner that we have the expectation to do, we have to know what the hell's going on. So we have to keep up with things. But it's like Sunday morning, I get up, and whether I'm home or on the road, I get a cup of coffee and maybe a dessert. And I'm like, all right, let's have a laugh and see who's complaining. And that's what Owen is talking about right here, is when you're trying to attract new people. The same thing with NASCAR, to where it's like, if people read stuff online on social media, on the X or on the Instagram or whatever, you read that, and I'm like, why would I want to go to that place when everybody, well, the majority of what I see, people are bitching about how bad things are. I ain't going there, right? It's like, and that's why I tell racers to where it's like with your track, and if you are auditioning for a job. I mean, somebody may like the way you race, but then they see the shit you post, and they may want to invest money in your race car. They may want to invest money in your series, in your track, whatever. But then they read stuff about that, and they're like, why would I put my money towards that?
Yep, happens more than you think. That's why there's those posts with the racetracks being for sale or promoters deciding to just throw their hands up. I'm done with this shit. I won't do it no more.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is that thing, and I do. People are like, all you do is point out the negative. I'm like, no, all I do is point out the obvious. I'm just telling you what we see. I mean, nobody's right about everything. I mean, everybody's going to have an opinion about something, but when you get in, when you get on social media and you do these different, you are just blatantly hurting your sport. I am for the betterment of the sport. I truly am. I love this sport so much that I fucking hate it. And and you know how that is. I mean, you cannot get away from it. And to see people that do stuff, and it pisses me off when it's newer people, because it's like, you don't have the time invested in this sport. It's like when people talk bad about your state or your country or whatever, and they're newer. It's like, you don't have the time invested to bitch about what you're bitching about. All right, rant's over. Y'all quit commenting. My watch just said, "Are you working out?"
Did you get the heart rate alert on your watch?
Oh my God, are you working out? No, I'm not. I am not. Rachel chimes in, replying to Owen hit the nail on the head. Yeah, he did. I mean, and yeah, the staff and the officials. I mean, it is. You're yelling at somebody that. I mean, I don't know what folks get paid, but I mean, they're there because they're sharing your passion, right?
Most people are there because they have a love for the sport, not because they do it for the dinero.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Rachel, I still have your pink tire in the back of my truck.
That big ass tire?
No. It's a little one from the powder puff at Texana.
Oh, I thought you had the one from turn 4. I'm like, dude,
no, it's a sprint car tire.
And yeah, Owen, and it's not, again, people don't need to bitch. I mean, but still, it's like when folks now don't know how good they got it, right? I mean, you go back and look, I mean, in simpler times, and I think the simpler times are no social media, right?
Yeah, beforehand. I wish we had the technology we had back then to record the races and have it at our fingertips. But I'm glad social media wasn't around 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, I remember back in the day, I mean, you had a problem, you had to like call somebody. And they usually answer the phone. I mean, I know like Alvin Stewart, Speedorama. I mean, that dude picked up the phone. He had a problem. He called Jake Wallace, and he'd pick up the phone. But that is the thing to where it is for Sunday. It's like, all right, let's see what's going on. Let's see who's mad today, and then all the shenanigans. And that's, boy, I bet the Power Eye folks are watching this saying, golly, we just promoted our show and these guys are ripping the sport. No, we're not ripping the sport. We're just telling you what is not healthy for the sport. But I'm sure they know that as well as everybody else.
Yeah, Tyler made it seem so easy, right? Like we joke with him, but it sounds easy. But it definitely ain't. It's not as easy as just show. For some of the racers, it might be showing up, the lights are on, doors are open, envelopes full of money. It's easy for some of them, but it ain't easy on the other side of that room.
And this is all, kind of based on what Joe was talking about there, to where, life shifts. I mean, different things happen. Like Joe was talking about there. I was kidding him about going to the gym, but I do. I mean, I see that he's working out. Joe's been on mission trips. I've seen that he's been doing, which I think about that, and I'm like, oh, those poor folks. Here comes Joe Spillman rolling up. But I kid. But it's like, and a lot of what changes right there, he's talking about grandkids. I mean, it's like life just kind of takes you in different directions, and there can always still be that part in Joe's case to where he's doing like what he's doing this weekend, but he's not actively in the middle of it all the time anymore. And that's
you can
okay.
still help out without being actively in the middle of it.
That's right. You really
can do both. You can donate time, you can donate money, you can donate expertise to a certain extent on the expertise part, but you can still be involved without directly being involved.
Yeah. Yep. No doubt about that. You mentioned a while ago the Freedom Factory, and this is kind of in the instance there with Cletus McFarland. I mean, one of the things that happens right there when you come back and you bring like a racetrack like that out from what it was and take it to a completely different level, where it's at right now, is you get folks that clamor to have races there. I mean, you get big events there, whether it's a car race or whether it's all the different things that they do right there. Well, coming up on November 28th and 29th, you've got the Billy Bigley 128 there with UARA with Ricky Brooks and his group. That's been growing and growing and growing, and every time you turn around, there's a big event happening at the Freedom Factory. They're up to 146 super late models, Bobby. That as of today, as of like 3 hours ago,
46.
I'm sorry, 46 late models, and that's the week before the Derby. And I mean, that right there tells you the impact he has, to where you put the alliance with he and Ricky together. And that's one of Ricky's biggest races of the year, other than the Rattler, are at the Freedom Factory. And the supers race there regularly. And you look, and there's a lot of people there. And I bet a lot of it are, like you're talking about, fans from different perspectives, not necessarily the middle Florida race fan that we're accustomed to knowing.
In theory, the same guys that showed up to watch the Ranger Danger 900 will probably be interested in the super late model race coming up with the Billy Bigley 128.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And this obviously it goes without saying. I mean, you can't have a little pride, and you don't really want to be labeled. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people don't care what other people think, and that's fine. But yeah, you don't want to kind of be the one where it's like, oh, you mention a name, and it's like, oh, that's that keyboard warrior. That's
that jackwagon that won't be quiet.
Yeah, that's that guy. That's this guy.
I make a big mistake of reading social media, which I think we all make very vital, critical mistakes by reading the keyboard warriors that are dumbasses that sit in their mother's basements and don't do a damn thing and haven't accomplished anything in their life, and tell you how bad you are at what you do. But they can't tell you to their face. I've never stood at the ropes and anybody come up there and go, you really are bad at this, and you should put your wife in the car. But I read it on the internet. That why is he driving the car? His wife's way better. She almost won a world championship. Well, now they can kiss my ass. They literally can kiss my ass, and I'll sit there and stick it out for them too, because they don't do a damn thing. They've never accomplished anything in their life. They don't know how to work hard to be successful in anything. That's why they say the shit they say on the internet. And to sit there and have to fight and prove these people wrong, that's the pride I take now. Because this is for all those people that say that I suck, I'm no good, I'm terrible, I've never been anything. This is for all those people. They don't have anything to show for it. I got 2 silver wallies this year to show for it.
Put that ringing through the turnstiles at your racetrack when you walk in. And,
that's right.
Well, welcome to ABC Speedway, and then you have that right there. That would be pretty cool. Speaking of talking, I did, and we can kind of talk here in a little bit about some of these NASCAR numbers and all that shit that's coming out with all the different with the lawsuit and so forth. But I keep hearing about the race manipulation and team contact and radio contact and all that stuff in NASCAR. Am I out of line to say, and again, this may be grumpy old man talking here, I've never understood why in the hell everybody needs to hear the radio communication. I mean, I know that it's sold like to watch it on Prime and you can hear everything that's going on. Quite frankly, I don't think people need to hear that shit. It's like when you get in a football huddle. No, nobody needs to hear that.
Yeah, but that's what made NASCAR unique. That's why everybody thought it was really kick-ass when you could hear the ACC officiating. You could see the UFL their XFL or whatever it was, when they did the reviews on some of the different calls, you got to hear them talk back and forth. That's one of the appeals. That's why Racing Radio is a big time sponsor of racing, because you get to listen to everybody's stuff on a professional level.
I've never, I mean, I don't mind listening to it, but I mean, I don't think that needs to be, what the fans want to listen to it and so forth. But this whole thing about, I mean, shit, if I'm out there racing in a Xfinity race or a truck race or a cup race or hell, any race where there's a radio, I mean, I want to know what's going on. If I'm in a point race, am I good? Am I good? Where you can't talk about some of that stuff. That's stupid.
I don't like it that you can't talk about it. Like, you got to know the situation about what you're racing around. You and I've been racing at the local level, and somebody shows up for a big show and you're running for top 5 in points. You kind of say something to the guy next to you. Hey, look, I'm running for points, so just be aware. I'm not telling you to lean over and give me the spot, but just be aware I'm fighting for points. So, you got to know what you're racing around to know, what you're doing to make the big picture work.
Yeah. And I just think it sucks, because I've been in, tight point races before, not for first, but I mean, in tight point races and again, maybe probably radio's not used at the time in that division, but if I look over, because no Hans device back in the day, so you look over and it's like, oh, that's a dude that's right behind me. I guarantee you that car's going to get wide. And if somebody, had a radio, I would say, all right, I'm blocking it. I'm blocking his ass. And I don't know. I don't know this race manipulate and the communication thing. It's just, there are certain things that I just think people don't need to, they don't need to hear. It's like what goes on in your private boardroom, and what goes on in your private bedroom. People don't need to hear that shit. I don't know. Getting old, Bobby, because that shit, I'm like, man, come on. Now that, I mean, that's like, what is targeting in football? What's a catch? What's not a catch? Like racing. What's okay to say on the radio? Nothing. This is radio silence. Quiet. Don't say a word.
I still don't think Des caught that ball. Just to make you feel better.
As a catch, my man. That, I mean, not today. Well, no, actually, it's definitely a catch now. I mean, it's definitely a catch. But anyway, that's whatever. Those times have passed. I'm over that.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of. All right. Here we go. And you folks may not be able to see this, but these are just some of the numbers that we're talking about. And I'm going to be honest with you, I can't see this. But just from, I mean, this was what's going to happen, and this is, of course, Bob Pockris, who's going to give us all the great information, knee deep in this stuff. But these are the numbers that are going to start coming out right now, because although, like you said, how did this happen? Did I miss some sort of injunction or something not get verified or whatever for these numbers to start coming out?
No, they did some kind of unappealed. What did I text you earlier this morning? What did I see? It was the court unsealed a full unredacted copy of the charter agreement. The court ruled it was some kind of like it was a discovery phase or something like that, and they ended up changing it, and they said, put it out there. This is what NASCAR was trying to get them to not release, because that's why they were in settlement talks last week, and 2311 in front row said, nah, you're good.
Yeah. So I think the whole synopsis, the nutshell of this is, so with the charter agreement, I guess did I see that the base is 141,000 per race?
Yeah, that's what Pocker said.
Okay, and that, again, that sounds like a lot of money, but I think in this environment, it's not, with everything that goes into this, and but the other part of this is, but I guess it's really don't matter, right? To where it's like, most of these teams didn't pay for these things. So that's where I think some people get confused, because NASCAR is making a lot of money, and a hell of a lot more than we thought, apparently. But for most of these, unless you bought them secondhand from somebody, unless you went to the flea market and bought your charter, they gave you that. They gave you that, if I'm remembering that correct. They didn't pay for anything on the initial ones, did they?
Well, you had to continuous team for like 3 or
Right.
5 years. I
Right.
think was the original charter that came out. So
Yeah. And I mean, it looks like, because I've kind of got it pulled up on another screen over here, and they are banking a lot of money. I mean, the one thing that you can look at is the money difference between 2023 and 2024. 2024, they were making a hell of a lot more money. I don't know. I think I saw somewhere that they think that something that may have changed there between the two was some of that land, the California land, that was sold off and put to different whatevers. So maybe that was, a change in some of that revenue.
which should be weird. You think they make more money in 2025 because that's when the new TV package hit.
Right.
This is 23 to 24. This isn't
23
even
to
included
24.
25.
Yeah, 25.
25 numbers are shit.
Yeah, the 25 numbers are going to be. I mean, it looks like they lost. I mean, it was like a $5 million income in 2023, and 2024 it was only $100 million. But still, $100 million, and you see what the teams are getting. That's that. But again, I mean, this is not something that it's cheap to do this presentation. But it
This is going to get worse before it gets any better.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, everything that I see tells me that what NASCAR is being called and what they're being alleged as. I mean, when you look at this, it's kind of hard to argue that, right?
Kind of hard to argue. It's not a monopoly.
And the thing about it is, I mean, when you go in and really look at this, if you're some of these teams, what I'd like to know is what were the conversations? Because we've heard, with Hendrick and with Penske and these guys, to where it's like, here's the charter agreement. It's like they readily and without hesitation signed this thing. Was kind of the MO of this whole thing until these two teams are like, well, wait a minute. And everybody's blaming Michael Jordan. He not only ruined the NBA, but he ruined NASCAR. I didn't know he ruined the NBA. I thought the NBA was great while he was there. But, I mean, he ruined it so bad that they're bringing him back to try to get TV ratings. But
they did. He's changing the business model.
That's it. And I think that's the thing where Jordan saw this.
They revenue share better in the NBA than they do in NASCAR.
Yeah. And that's the underlying thing right here, to where it's like there's revenue sharing that's going on, but most of it is going to the organization, to the sanctioning body.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think NASCAR could give up a little bit more money.
I think so. I think they can. And I think the bad thing about it is, I think what even makes this worse is that when you have the opinion, the court of opinion is that since the what's the best way to say it, cost saving factors, went into play, with the car, with the single source parts and so forth, that those were cost saving measures. Well, okay, you're saving teams money, but damn, where's it going?
Well, they didn't save any money. They just moved that to engineering and shit like that. All that money they spent on fabrication got moved to engineering. They didn't change no overall budget for no cup car. They just ended up moving the money around.
Yeah. So it's we'll see how this shakes out, but this is going to be interesting. I'm going to turn on, I will tell you, I don't do it a lot unless I'm on the road, but I'm going to turn on the channel 90 tomorrow just to kind of get, I'd say unbiased opinions, but to kind of hear what's going to be said about this from folks in the industry. I've got a pretty good idea what people are going to say that call in, I would think, but yeah, I'd kind of like to. I hope.
Well, the only plus though is that at least NASCAR has the Championship 4 weekend, where this is going to be a talking point, but they're going to try to push it all on the actual Championship 4.
I wish that honestly, I wish that the timing of this was not before this. Because you already have a playoff system that folks are not in favor of. I think if I were them, honestly, with this hitting today, if there is a new playoff system that they're going to go to, I think I might be like Saturday afternoon, let's have a press conference and drop the new playoff system just to get this out of the way. This really didn't need to come out right now. in my opinion.
No,
For
the
anybody.
the judge kind of screwed him on that deal.
He did. Yeah, he did. Which what did the judge say that originally on this? That somebody was going to, I forget what term he used. Looks like those wheels are turning at this point. It's heading down that path. So for the Final Four, and again, we Final Four in all three series. We wanted to get Caden Honeycutt on, but Caden Honeycutt traveling the last two, well, today and yesterday, couldn't get that done. But you've got that there. I think kind of the narrative going in is, yeah, if the 11 truck doesn't win the championship, that's an injustice. If the 88 car doesn't win the Xfinity championship, that's an injustice. But I think that you can say on the Cup side, you don't have a Zilich or you don't have a Corey Heim that's just wiped the slate clean this year.
No. I mean, you got I think some people are finally pulling for Denny Hamlin to finally get it. I think this is his best shot, despite being involved with the lawsuit and stuff like that. But I mean, we've said that a couple of times before. This is his best shot, but I truly believe with the competition he's got right now, the best competition he's got is his teammate.
Yeah.
But they're coming off a couple of blown motors. That's got to put a little doubt in the back of your mind about what's going on. So
yeah. And with Larson, you've got Larson there that's always going to contend. I mean, there's not a is there a Penske? Blaney's in this. Yeah.
Blaney's out.
Well, Blaney's out. Out.
2 Hendrick cars and 2 Penske cars.
Yeah.
Or 2 Gibbs cars.
Yeah. So so we'll have a different champion, from last year. I think it would. And I think that we've seen a softer Denny Hamlin. So I think this is his chance, barring any, sort of mental and that's the other part of this. I mean, how does this happening today motivate Denny Hamlin in that factor to make him really want to, when this comes out and looks more towards something not in favor of the, person that he's got the lawsuit against? Does this drive him, to maybe, really, really try to strive for that championship? Not that he's not going to.
I think this is his year. I don't necessarily want to see it, but I think this is his year.
Yeah. And
I haven't seen enough about the other guy other than Briscoe. But Briscoe hadn't been consistent. Neither has Larson. Neither has William Byron. Denny's been the most consistent one out of those 4. So,
yeah, I think Larson wins, and I think that's kind of the preemptive fan favorite. That's where you could get some folks outside.
He's
of
the
NASCAR.
Everyday man.
Yeah. Just good guy. Dirt track racer. I mean, that's what you get with him. With Chase, I mean, essentially Chase Briscoe's the same thing. I mean, if you want to talk about good dude, I mean, I don't know if they come any better than Chase Briscoe, to be honest with you. But
friend of the show, we've talked to him before on this show and the other show.
Yeah, people just aren't familiar with him, So I think there's that. With Byron, it's like, I think Byron, you get that dude's boring. Well, that dude didn't come up through the ranks. Well, sorry. I mean, Hendrick's got him in the 24, so he's doing something right. He's in the Final Four. Say what you want to say about the playoff format. He's doing something right?
Yeah, won 2 days, 3 or 4 in a row now, or 3 out of 4.
Mm-hmm. Denny would just be the one that I think would be kind of the headline grabber a little bit more, just with everything that's going on. Like I said, the sensitive side of Denny that we saw after and reason being, and his father's in not a good situation. So I think that part of you, the heartstrings will kind of tug a little bit for Denny. So I don't know.
I also think that in terms of, like, this is going to be another year where I don't think the race winner is going to be the championship winner.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't shown the dominant. I mean, usually you'll get the top, like last year and the year before, your top 5. A lot of times you'll see it. Your top 4 in the championship will be running boom, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think you're going to see that on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had really hoped that especially if the format's going to get changed, which we're pretty sure that it's going to be. I really did want this to kind of go out with, I don't know. I kept saying Logano, and I just said I wanted Logano in there to win the championship.
It's not an even numbered year. Can't happen.
Yeah. Because he's the one that people were bitching the most about. It's like that dude shouldn't have won either championship or shouldn't have won any championship. But yeah, I mean, I think that these guys are all for this format. When you look at the season that you've had, I mean, these are four formidable Final Four people that are sitting at the same point total. It will. Hey, look, I want Caden Honeycutt to win the truck championship because he's my buddy. Yeah, Caden Honeycutt goes in there and wins the truck championship. It's going to cause all kinds of craziness, man. Or does it? Because people like him.
No, he's the Cinderella story of the playoffs.
Yeah,
all three series.
And it's because of everything. It's the plight that he's been through.
And it wasn't just the Texas people that were pissed off that he didn't get interviewed by Fox Sports.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Top O'Dime walked right past his ass.
Yeah. Well, and they
interviewed Riggs, but they didn't interview Honeycutt, and they finished right next to each other.
And the interview that I heard from Caden Honeycutt was a great one. I'm like, that's the one that should have been on TV. So somebody was going to text, why'd he say your name? No, he didn't. But it was very emotional. It was a very emotional interview from him.
He wore his emotions on his sleeve during that interview.
He did.
As he should in the position he's at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so all of that coming up this weekend, and next week we'll break it down and tell you who all your champions are. Corey Heim, Connor Zilich, and whichever one of those dudes wins the cup one. And we'll see. Oh, and here's the other one before we get out of here. When we talk about people complaining about stuff, and with NASCAR, I've seen some people that are so pissed off that the awards are on Tuesday. There, right? It's in Phoenix. They're doing.
Is it? I hadn't even seen anything about it.
They're doing it there, and on Tuesday night. And I mean, it's on. I don't know where, the Peacock, I guess. I don't even know.
Peacock or True TV or.
But somebody, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, "That's bullshit." And I'm like,
"Who watches the awards anymore?"
That's what I said. I said, "Do you plan your Friday evenings to watch the award show when they have it on Friday?" Oh, I ain't watching that shit. I'm like, well, why are you mad that they're doing it on Tuesday? Oh, just because. I mean, that's stupid. Why? Why is it stupid? Oh, my Lord.
Hell, they announced it back in September.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, nobody cares. I mean.
Tuesday, November 4th.
And people complain about the format of the awards. Well, they only have, I don't know how many of them they have. I haven't watched one of those in since Terry Labonte won. I think was the last one that I watched.
Yeah, they don't have it at the Waldorf Astoria anymore.
No. And God, complain just to complain. Whatever. Just enjoy the race, man. Enjoy the race.
Most popular driver will be announced then. Did you see the names of the most popular drivers in NASCAR's top 3 series?
Got to be number 9, number 88, and number 23.
The Cup
and
series,
number 23. Just kidding.
The Cup series, Blaney, Chastain, Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, in no particular order.
Okay.
Xfinity series, Allgaier, Sheldon Creed, Matt DiBenedetto.
What?
That doesn't currently have an Xfinity ride. Jesse Love, Connor Zilich. That's the top 5 in no particular order. Craftsman Truck Series, Matt Crafton, Rajah Caruth, Corey Heim, Lane Riggs, and this one's going to blow your mind.
Tony
Bradinger.
She's got my vote.
I can't say what I want to say, but golly, yesterday on NASCAR 25, you know who I ran into and she tweeted about me after the race? Natalie.
Amber Balkin.
Oh.
I passed her at North Wilkesboro, ran all up into her. I didn't put her in the fence, but she sent out a tweet and said Rodriguez is dangerous. I'm like, come on,
you
Amber.
pissed off a lot of people on that game.
I know. And our man here from Texas, the
DL Wilson.
DL Wilson's all over my ass. I'm like, come on, man, calm down. We're just out here for fun.
I'm working on it. I'm waiting to see the Black 25. Friday deals on which console I'm getting. So
NASCAR 25 is fun. And the career mode is really fun because you get in there and you start out with like what we're talking about. You don't have a lot of money and you've got to sit there and try to make that car go. And the damn car don't go in the first place. You know, it doesn't have any horsepower. And you got to sit there and try to make that thing work. That's why I hit everybody because it's like, hell, it's the only way I can pass people. But yeah, it's fun. Highly recommended. Worth the investment. NASCAR 25. All right, man. This has been fun. Great talk with Joe Spillman, Talon Turner as well. With Power Eye, big event coming up at Texas Motor Speedway, and great interaction tonight. And that's what we can do on here, to where it's like if you have those things, we can this can be like therapy, where we can. The only thing that we ask, and everybody does such a good job with this, is like Owen and Rachel and everybody that was coming on today with the live comments, and that's the thing. We can just pop them right up and talk through things. Don't like say names. Don't be like, Joe Blow sucks. Don't.
We're usually pretty lucky with that, though.
Yeah, we are. And the thing is, you'll still see them if you're watching the show on one of the platforms. We're obviously not going to pull it up, and we'll probably cite you out if you put stuff on there. There have been people that have posted stuff, and we tell them, hey, cut that shit out. So anyway, but yeah, that's what we do here, and we can do that in the off season, and I do think we need to do off seasons with Joe, because he's still very involved. So again, those events that you have coming up. Oh, we can't forget this one either. Because you've got coming up, this is going to be next week as well, and we can talk more about this next week. Maybe we need to get we might need to talk to our man Owen about this one. You've got a championship night happening on the Blacktop over at Houston Motorsports Park. You got a big modified race there, and on top of that, you got an enduro to wrap up the night. Sounds like a pretty damn good little time right there happening at HMP.
Yeah, another good time. They haven't given up yet. I applaud them for that. That is definitely a passion project with Owen, not giving up, and I give him props for that. So
yep, absolutely. There is as well that same weekend, you've got the Deuces Wild. It's going to be going on at Texas Motor Speedway. So complete opposite ends of Texas. If you've got those that you're looking to do, that's of course dirt and of course pavement. And then coming up this weekend, if I can find it right there it is, the Bet All Lucky 13 Fall Classic happening at Heart of Texas Speedway. That'll be a great show card right there as well. Also, going on this weekend, a couple of different events that we kind of touched on at the beginning of the show. The Short Track Nationals are happening at Texarkana at 67. Halloween Havoc at 105 Speedway will be going on. So lots to do there. And Bobby, we can probably maybe talk about this more next week, but there is your 2026 ZMAX Cars Tour schedule that has also been released. So all of these are starting to happen.
Yeah, no Cordeal.
Yep.
And only one trip to North Wilkesboro.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. That is right. They will be at the fairgrounds, kind of a cool destination there. But I mean, all of these tracks over there. I mean, Ace is a great spot. You got Hickory, Dominion, South Boston. Those are really cool spots.
Going to Anderson, though, that's gonna be a hell of a race going to Anderson, South Carolina.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, we do need to mention as well, and I think a lot of you folks probably have already done this, and I'm sorry that I don't have this link, but we'll post it. Our man, again, friend of the show, Big E, Eric Wallace, he and Amber and their kiddos this past weekend, they lost everything. Tragic, horrible house fire while they were at the racetrack, and as this happened, and burned everything gone for those folks. So they are starting over. I know Lori had set up something there, and lots of folks being a part of that, but continue to keep those folks in your thoughts, and find that link. And like I said, we'll post it, because it's you just talk about your life just being taken away from you, man. That's rough.
And definitely not a good situation, but you and I directly connected to that family. You've known them a long time yourself, and Eric, friend of the show, good dude, spent a lot of good nights at the racetrack with him. So yeah, definitely want to support them any way we can. Yeah, yep, absolutely. We will get that link up on the show page, and if anything, just kind of send a good thought to those folks. And again, that's Texas racing right there. I know Eric and Amber and the kiddos are up there, but I mean, that's with the Wallace and Stewart families here that have been. When we talk about you step away from racing a little bit, those people continue to be your friends. And, I've said it so many times. I used to go stay with Jake and Lori, and I slept in Eric's
kid bedroom, So
I mean, hell, Jake sent me a text when we were doing the Mr. Rogers AI pictures.
that's right. Yeah. Just good folks right there. So anyway, just kind of keep the thoughts. All right, guys, we'll do it again next week. Rest of the week, my man. I've got what am I doing this weekend? I got some football duties coming up on Friday night. I'll be back behind the mic. So I've got to do Vander Griff. I'm gonna do Vander Grift on Friday, and then I'll do Vanderbilt on Saturday morning. Both Vipers. I can imagine that any broadcast that I'm doing are probably going to be all jacked up. Both black and gold.
Yeah.
Both black and gold. Nice.
Hey, did you know that dictionary.com announced today that 6'7" is the 2025 word of the year?
6'7"?
6'7". You don't, oh my God, you don't know about 6'7"? We ain't got enough time for that. I'll have to text it to you. It's a kid thing now.
No.
Somebody text Rodney the thing about 6'7". I got stuff to do.
Yeah, only one I'm familiar with is 6'9".
Yeah. Yeah. The Round Rock 69ers. Your fantasy football team.
Yes, of course.
That's right.
I don't know what that is, to be honest with you.
No, wow. Maybe you have to get Kendall or Chloe to explain it to you.
Oh God, I don't have that kind of time. It can take this long and they're still talking for a week. I'm like, just tell me what you need to tell me.
Kendall's gonna trust me. Kendall knows what it's about if she's in the school setting.
No, Lord,
she knows.
God, do I want to know? God, do I want to know? Probably not.
But no, a good week. I have a half a day at the office tomorrow, going down to watch the Birds take on the Green Wave in Tulane.
What's today?
Thursday night.
Today's Wednesday. God.
Today's Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay.
Tomorrow night, UTSA at the Dome with our buddy Milton Hope, and then Friday night going to Storm and Steve's.
Oh, Halloween. That's right. I forgot about
Halloween on Friday night.
Yeah. I had some fun. What are you dressing up for Halloween? I'm like, as a broadcaster. I think several of the last Halloweens, that's what I've dressed up as. I've worn a headset.
Yeah. We're the Big Bad Wolf and Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, nice. Okay. There you go.
Even though my costume looks like an Ewok with a flannel shirt, but
hey, it's all right. It's all right. It's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts. All right, you guys. Be safe in your Halloween endeavors out there and about, and please.
And don't forget spring forward, fall backwards. Change your clock on Saturday night.
Falling back. That's the cool part. There's nothing better because I've been in both predicaments to where you're at the racetrack and you spring forward. That sucks because it's like you can probably only see with one eye by that point. Because you're tired, of course.
Yeah.
You're like that. And you're like, oh man. But when it's the other way, like if you're going to be at Waco this weekend and you fall backward, it's like, oh man. Yeah. Fall backward. And it is feeling fall. It is definitely feeling fall.
PSA from the Revved Up Sports Show.
That's right. Set your clock. How many people actually manually have to move your clock?
I have a couple of digital clocks that aren't. And I've got an analog backwards clock in the man cave that I have to change. So
I've got a microwave. I think the microwave I still have to manually do. My car does it by itself. Most important clock that I run off of every day, the clock in here, it's an atomic clock, so it does it. The watch does it. The phones do it. But I think some people do actually have to set it back. Remember that? You go to bed and be like, oh, let me move it back.
I remember the fun times though when it used to be a couple of weeks early. So you'd go to Halloween and you'd be like, when you're a young kid, they'd be like, be home at 2:00. You'd show up at 3 and they'd be like, why are you an hour late? I ain't an hour late. Fall back, fool. 2:00.
Yeah, it's 2:00, bitch. No,
Yeah.
don't call your mom that. I mean, nobody call your mom that. But yeah, absolutely. All right, y'all. Appreciate you being a part of the show. We'll do it again next week, either on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or hell, who knows when. But we will do it again. Hashtag Real Race Talk from Texas again. Thanks to all the folks that make the show possible. The great folks at On Demand Shirts, official apparel providers of the two dudes that you see on the screen, and many of you on the program as well. Audiovisual Consultations, as they make this place amazing, where I do the show from. Have to thank our friends, JD Bowser over at Simpson, for sending me some cool stuff. Because, yeah, I like cool stuff. So thanks to them. And we'll catch you guys next week. Remember, all the replays, audio, video, everything. You can find them at RevvedUpSportsShow.com, on YouTube, on Twitter, Twitch, X, the Facebooks, and everywhere else. Showtime Bobby Chaffee down south. I'm Rodney Rodriguez up north in Central Texas. You guys stay warm, be safe for Halloween, and we will catch you next week. #Real Race Talk.